touch on your skin. The love is right. Let them have their time. And I have this notion, let's keep these wheels in motion. In motion. And it's worse you for what I did not know. Did you think I would let it go? Oh no. And in time, yes, I'll think it's absurd. But until then, you'll leave your words. But lay on, lay on. Now it's time to defend your lies. Lies you've been feeding me all this time. And will you reoffend? Oh, darling. You say that you are innocent, but your words, they seem irrelevant, but still play on. Now it's time to defend your lies. Lies you've been feeding me all this time. And will you reoffend? Oh, darling. Oh, you have reached your lover's end. No more will we make pretend like we something to fight for. Oh. We had nothing to fight for. 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 wanted was love, but that was never enough. No, never enough. 'Cause you were chasing your dreams, now you can't redeem yourself. 'Cause you were chasing your dreams, now you can't redeem yourself.
Good evening, race fans. And it's that time. It is the GT Alphas GT3 World Championship 2023. Finally, after months of anticipation, drivers getting signed up, dithering with their cars, toying with some ideas, we're here and we begin with the qualifier in Lobby 1. Lobby 2 and Lobby 3 are running completely simultaneously, and we will broadcast those later for you. But we're going to be live with the qualifying round here at Big Willow. It's an amazing racetrack. I absolutely love it. Willow Springs International Raceway in the United States of America. Fuck yeah, baby. We have somewhere near 40 odd drivers competing in this World Championship, representing 14 different countries across the world. Australia, we've got the Netherlands, we've got the United States of America, we've got basically everywhere is covered. Everywhere is represented in this World Championship. It's a proper World Championship because there's lots of different nationalities in it. I'm really looking forward to it. We've got a couple of drivers that have last minute, well, certainly one that's dropped out that I know of. That is, we'll bring up there's the qualifying round lineup for Lobby 1. We've tried to kind of make the lobbies as close as possible for qualifying in terms of pace. There's going to be an anomaly or two. Quick rundown of what's going to happen. Qualifying round this evening does two things. Number one, it sets all the drivers across the three lobbies into their classes for the upcoming 2023 season. Pro, Pro-Am and Am. And then the second thing it does is it puts you on your grid for next week. So we take the results from all three lobbies. We compile them. The top 1/3 go into the pro group, into lobby number 1, and so on and so forth, all the way down the order. So it's not about winning the races today. Listen, everybody wants to win, but it's not about who wins today. It's about your overall race pace. It's about your average lap time. So those drivers that keep it clean and keep it on the racetrack will find themselves higher. Now, they could be racing in Lobby 3. They will find themselves higher on the grid and higher ranked than those who put in that blistering lap but can't keep it on the road. So in the lobby this evening, we've got GMAC, we've got Knudsen. GMAC from the United Kingdom, Black Flag driver. Newton racing for Nola Racing. From Sector 7, we've got a number of Sector 7 racing drivers in. We've got Mazda, who we know is very, very quick. He was a very, very hot competitor in the GTC World Cup. Stormfly from Black Flag. I believe Osman is going to struggle to make it this evening and being held up at work. Kaizan down with the flu, lastminute.com. He's not going to make it this evening. Kaizan, wonderful driver from Australia. Another Sector 7 driver in Aero. He joins us this evening. He was the last entrant to this GT3 World Championship. The Truth. You can't handle the truth. He is now Sector 7 driver and he joins us here in Lobby 1. Black Flag Slipstream, our very own livery manager. And Black Flag TJ. He's glamorous assistant in this group. We've also got from Black Flag Star Group, Wiggy from Wales. Bonnie Val from the Amigos Racing Team. Bonnie Val showed incredible pace in our last big preview race. Showed incredible pace, did Ben. So we're looking forward to seeing what they've got to offer. Tech Racing from Beyond Victory Lane Racing Team. That makes up, I think, the 10. We were expecting 13. 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. Yeah, we were expecting 13. I think we're going to be on 11 because I think we're going to be missing Osman and Kaizan. Pretty much everyone is in the room. Who are we missing? The Truth, by the looks of it. Yeah, The Truth not here yet, but still plenty of time. Well, I'd say plenty of time. There's about 15 minutes to go there. Although I know he's left and he's come back and he's left again. But I'm sure he'll be back shortly. He's probably gone to get some tyres or a livery or something along those lines. Right. So we know what the lobby lineup is all about. And let's find out a little bit about Willow Springs. So, as I said, it is the qualifying round here at Willow Springs. You'll see there in the top right-hand corner the official lap guide done by our tamed racing driver, PM10 Racing. You can watch that, or you can check out this. So, we're off to Willow Springs in California. There's 4 tracks if you count the little kart track, in Kern County, California. This one is Big Willow. This was the first one of the tracks built in 1953. 69 years old, baby. It's been pretty much unchanged in that layout. 2.5 miles, 4 kilometres of paved tarmac, 9 corners, surrounded on all sides by the desert. And my dog is going mental and needs to shut up immediately. Very tricky racetrack. Turn 1, Castrol Corner. It's a 90-degree high-speed left-hand turn. Which leads almost straight into turn 2, the Rabbits here. It's a double apex sweeping turn, which can be taken at quite high speed. You then go into the Omega. It's an up and downhill section with a mad camber that kind of really tests the car turning ability. The quick left-hander leading on to the fastest section of the track, and then you are pretty much flat out through Monroe, repass, all fully flat out until you get into turn 8, the sweeper. This is your last high-speed corner before you get on the brakes into turn 9, which is a right-hander which takes you back to the start-finish line. And turn 9 has taken many, many victims over the years here at Big Willow. You will note that it is shaped like a whale, or if you're like us, it is a penis with one distended testicle. Depends how you view this racetrack. So there you have it. That's what you need to know about this particular track. So we have pretty much everyone in the room. They are going to chuck the cars around for a little bit and see how they get on. I'm expecting it to be a very, very, very close run thing. Feed my dog. I will feed. My dog has already been fed. My dog was going mental because there was someone coming into the house. That's why he was going mental. Nothing. She was going mental, should I say. Nothing to do with not being fed. Thank you very much. But thanks for your input. And we're going to turn it off for a second and it will come back up later. So let's have a quick look at some of the cars that we've got competing, because people have been toying with different vehicles over the last few weeks. It's essentially any GT3 car with the exception of the VGTs and the very special ones here on Gran Turismo. But people have been toying with many different cars, and I know that some people early doors had set their kind of stall out with a car, and then after a bit of testing on a few different tracks have rethought their choice. Whatever car they start this race with today, however they start qualifying, that is their car choice for the season. There's no do-overs, there's no changes, there's no take-backs. Whatever updates come or whatever changes are made to the car, this is your car for this GT3 World Championship. And we've got some great drivers. In particular in this lobby, we've got some great drivers. Let's have a quick looky-see, shall we, who we've got knocking about. I'll get rid of that for you. We'll have a little look. We need to... Hang on. Something's missing. Why can't I hear? Oh, that's why. I'll tell you why I can't hear it, because I haven't turned that on. There we go. Almost everything was working perfectly. Right. We'll leave the drivers' names on for now. We'll leave that on for now. We just want to have a look at these liveries and see who's rocking what. So that is Madsa from the other side of the world from here. And he is rocking that BMW. The BMW actually has been a much more popular choice than we expected early doors. From Sector 7 Racing, of course, you'll see that every car is carrying a couple of very special liveries. One is, of course, Swarm 6, our music partner. Any original music you hear on Black Flag Racing TV comes from those boys. Do check them out. They've got a new single out recently, which you should check out. It's very, very cool. And also, of course, the Proper Blokes Club, which is our mental health partner. Very, very good work they're doing, getting men talking about mental health issues. So that's the Sector 7 offering. Now, The drivers aren't fixed. The teams aren't fixed to all the liveries being the same. The drivers have a little bit of leeway with what sort of liveries they want to chuck out, whether they want to drive with individual liveries or a team livery. But at the moment, everyone's gone pretty individual. Black flag driver there, that is Slipstream, I believe it is indeed. He's got his name written on the side. In the AMG GT3. He was one of those that was undecided but has settled on this AMG. Moving on, that's Beyond Victory Lane's Tech Racing. He was a very, very hot title contender in the BMW Cup, which finished not so long ago. He's gone for that GTR Nismo, looking very, very cool in the green colours. Now, the liveries obviously can change from race to race if you so wish, but they obviously have to go through Slipstream's approval, as you would expect. There he is there. Stormfly. Now, he set out in 3 or 4 different cars over the course of the lead up to this, but it looks like he's finally settled for the Porsche 911 RSR, which is a phenomenally good car, really good all-round. At one stage it was the best GR3 car available, but you know, over time things change, and it's a good middling car. It will give you everything you need at the right time. Another BMW driver, Wiggy. He says he stood out early in the BMW, but he is a big fan of the BM. The Welsh driver with his trademark livery trademark orange livery. Loves an orange car, does a Welsh driver. And of course, anyone that reads the news will know that he's only allowed to drive at 20 mile an hour because that's the new law in Wales, which apparently can now be challenged. Another orange offering. It's the Hello Kitty car. That is GMAC, of course, another black flag driver. Japan Power, whatever makes you happy. What makes him happy is little baby kittens on the back of his car. And he's actually got the word, I don't know if you can see it, he's got the word roof written on his roof because he is that much of a genius. That's just in case he forgets which part of the car is which. The only representative for Nola Racing, that's Newton. Don't count this guy out. He is very, very quick. We've seen him put in some blistering times. He's won a couple of the practice lead-up races to this as well. So Newton, expect to see him there or thereabouts. That is Aero, the very last entrant, Sector 7 driver. Literally got his registration in right at the death. Tech Racing leaving the room. I hope that's just to sort something out. He's gone for that Lexus. That's the first time we've seen anyone pick that particular car. So interesting choice, the Lexus. And there's Mazda in the pit and the Truth. We'll have a look at the rest of them in a minute because we're going to do a quick lobby reset, and let the guys know I'm going to do that now, just so we're all working on the same page, because all 3 lobbies are running on exactly the same settings, so it's all nice and fair for everybody. Lobby reset incoming. There we go, and let's get it done. Quick lobby reset. Nothing changes. That's just to ensure that the 3 lobbies 1, 2 and 3, are running on exactly the same conditions, so that when we compile all of the information together, that everybody knows that they've had a fair crack at the race pace timings. So we've got everyone we were expecting. Hoping Tech Racing makes it back, and it's not a terminal issue for him. He's got 4 minutes to get back in the room. I will check my messages just in case I've got an urgent request that something's gone horribly wrong. Doesn't look like I have, so we'll assume that he is finding his way back. Now bear in mind, they still can change their car. The race has yet to start, so it could be that he has last minute. He was a last minute choice or for the car, and he's changed his mind at the very last minute and decided not to go with that car. I don't know. We'll find out. I know he's back, and I think he's back in the same car. So we start in 3 minutes time. It will be 10 minutes of qualifying. just standard qualifying, followed by 30 minutes of racing. They're starting on half tank of fuel. It is racing soft tyres only. When we move into the championship portion of the proceedings, there'll be 2 races. There'll be a sprint race, which is 20 minutes. That will set the grid for the feature race, 40-minute feature race, during which the damage will be punted up to heavy. Tyre choice is completely free during the championship. If you want to run just as soft as you can, mediums, hards, whatever, there is no mandatory tyre requirement throughout the championship, but I can't imagine many people are going to be picking the hard compound tyres when you can pretty much do the race with the softs and the mediums, or maybe even just the softs if you're quick enough and good enough at looking after your tyres. So just 2 minutes left to go. Everyone's in that needs to be here. We've got the Truth. He's running in that McLaren 650S GT3. That's a phenomenal car. Bonnie Val in the Mercedes AMG. Tech Racing in the GTR Nismo, as is Knudsen. Also in that GTR, as is GMAC. 3 drivers going for that GTR. Stormfly, the only 911 driver in the lobby, which surprises me. I expected to see 1 or 2 more rocking that 911. The RCF Lexus, the only driver running that is Aero, with Madster in the M6 GT3, along with also Stargroot in it as well, and TJ running that M6 GT3. And Slipstream, another Mercedes AMG driver. So there we have it, 1 minute warning. Let's let them know it's 1 minute so they can make sure they've got tyres that they need, they've got the setup they need, they've got the drink they need, and then we will get cracking. It will be 30 minutes, it will be balls out, and I guarantee you at least one driver over the course of the next 30 minutes will find themselves somewhere in the desert. And that is a very, very big desert as well. So good luck. Look, good luck to every driver, whatever lobby you're in, lobby 1, 2, or 3. Good luck to you all, and good luck for the entire season. And well, we'll see who comes out on top. There are several competitions you're going to have. Obviously, class competition. You're going to have individual champion competition, but also there is a team competition. The top 3 drivers each week for the team score points. So we are ready to get cracking. Give them the ready signal. Everyone knows what they've got to do. They don't need a warning. And we start qualifying immediately. Just waiting for the countdown, and the countdown has begun. Who's going to be first out? We'll do the on-board with whoever is first out on track, of course, as we always do. We'll turn off the driver names. We know who they are at this stage, and everyone knows who they're following. Hello to everyone that is watching. Give us a shout, let us know who you're following, who you're supporting, who you think is going to nick this, who do you think is going to be the surprise package. Is there anyone that you think should be winning this and not necessarily giving the performance that you expect? Out in front, who was first out? It was TJ in that BMW M6. So as long as he can keep it on the road in his outlap, he will get the first on board of this GT3 World Championship season. And we'll have a look at his livery actually while we're going around, because there's a few liveries we haven't had a chance to look at. Always goes for very simple but very elegant styles, does TJ. You can see there the top hat and the beret and moustache from the Proper Blokes Club there at the back, with the Swarm 6 logo there as well. Looking very, very cool. The number 2 car of TJ. Newton Noller Racing, we've seen his car already. We know how cool that looks. Body Val, very distinctive. You can always tell an Amigos Racing Team car, because that is their trademark yellow and blue. Very, very cool liveries coming out of our friends at Amigos. We've been long associated with the Amigos Racing Team, and a long friendship between us and us at Black Flag and them at ART. Wiggy, of course, we've seen his car. GMAC, we've seen his Hello Kitties. Who haven't went the Truth for Sector 7. Now, he's gone for the McLaren. A car that actually, early on in the process, a lot of drivers were toying with. because it is a pretty meta car as things go. But over the course of testing, people that you thought were going to go with the McLaren have actually changed their mind. TJ, I know, was one of them. He'd set his heart on that McLaren, but changed. And now we have that Sector 7 racing car looking very, very cool as well, for the truth. Tech Racing, of course, in the GTR. Aero, another Sector 7 driver there. We've got a few Sector 7. We've got the biggest, actually, Black Flag, of course. You would expect that we've got quite a big showing here. But Sector 7 have brought a number of drivers from the other side of the pond here to bring it over to us Brits. So it's going to be an interesting battle. In the lobby today, we've got Dutch, we've got Danish, we've got British, we've got Australian, we've got New Zealand, we've got Canada, United States. Stormfly's Hungarian, although he's flying that Dutch flag. Bonnie Val, of course, from the United Kingdom. And, of course, we've got Welsh as well, although he has to fly the British flag. And Slipstream from New Zealand, who's actually Polish. Well, in Poland, so technically both. Well, I did say do a hot lap with TJ. We didn't even get round to doing that. We'll do it with TJ when we finally get around there. So Bonnie Val is the first to set the hot lap. It's on 1:11.0. Fully expect to see a qualifying lap here of somewhere in the 110s. There have been 109s in practice under these conditions, so there is a 109 in this track, but that is the purple lap of your life with a little bit of slipstream help through this back section. So I don't know if we're going to see it today, but we're certainly going to see it at some stage, I would imagine. But yeah, we're missing you, Osman, really missing you. I'm gutted that you got caught up at work. Would have been good to see you out there, buddy. But there's 12 races where we get to see what you are about. Right, where is TJ? Well, we're going to do this on board. We'll do it. We'll do it when he finishes this lap, and we'll do a full on board. So Bonnie Val and GMAC currently sitting on that front row. Tech Racing and Wiggy are on row number 2. Slipstream and TJ currently sitting on row 3. And this is TJ now just coming round to complete Sector 1. The Truth and Knudsen 8th and 9th with Aero in 10th. And Stormfly at the moment in the 911 not finding the pace he was expecting. His quickest lap thus far, 1:11.8, so close between them. At the moment, it is 7/10 of a second separates Stormfly in 11th and Bonnie Val on pole. There is nothing in it between these guys at the moment. Absolutely massively close. Never would have thought it ever. But here we go. Right, this is your on-board lap with TJ. You head across this start-finish line, having come out of the last corner, heading down to this left-hander. You're going to drop this car down into 4th gear, 3rd gear even, in the BMW. I drop it into 4th normally. Then you head down. You've got this long double apex rabbit ear corner where you let the car kind of pull itself round the corner before accelerating up, using all the road. Careful not to be too brave with the sand, which he was a little bit there and he had to let off, and backs out of that lap. You put us on the big screen of the pub. Tell them all to subscribe though. They can't watch for free, buddy. They can't watch for free. Right, so TJ's going to do another lap for us, see if we can get it right this time. So into the bunny ears, or the rabbit ears, whatever you want to call it. You're coming round in 4th gear, you hold that 4th gear, you start stamping that throttle about halfway through, this time missing the desert. Heading up, down to 3rd gear to get the rotation in that car. He's choosing 2nd for the rotation now. Interesting. Little blast up the hill before you brake hard again. Really tricky corner. You can't see your exit until you're at it. You have to kind of know where it is and point the car in the right direction. Left-hander, very key corner this, because you want to get on the power nice and early as you head down. It's flat all the way through this California desert now, with its little twists and turns till you get to the very tip of the whale, or the tip of the penis, whichever way you want to look at it. I don't know, the kids in the pub, mums and dads, put hands over their ears, because it's going to be a rude one. Last turn, you can't take that in 5th gear. You literally just a little tap of brake just to get the car turned, and that takes you across the line. So There we go, there's a lap around there for you. So at the moment, Body Val still holding on, and we have gone sub 111 with a 110.7. We knew it was going to be in the 110s. That is Body Val just disappearing off the racetrack into the deserts. Mazda looking pretty good already, just shy of the 110s with a 111.0 for the Sector 7 driver. The Beyond Victory Lane representative, Tech Racing in the GTR, currently sitting on row 2. Just 0.2 or 0.3 of a second separate Body Val in pole position and Tech Racing there on row 2. GMAC just 25 hundredths of a second behind Tech Racing with a 111.1. Hasn't been able to better that lap since his first hot lap. Just 7 minutes left of qualifying, and for some reason I've got a technical issue with my timing screen. I might need to fix that. I don't know why that's disappeared. See if I can fix it in situ, shall we? Maybe not. No, my timing screen has decided it doesn't want to work. So we've got no race timer. Oh well. I will try and fix it in between qualifying and the race. I'll try and get that fixed if I can. I don't know why that's disappeared. It was working earlier. Now decided to disappear forever. We'll get that sorted out, not a problem. But I can assure you there is just a couple of minutes left. GMAC currently sitting on row 2, of course. Hasn't improved on that time. There is Newton. We're bound to have one or two little teething problems, aren't we, with the first live broadcast? Despite the fact that I had tested it all and it was all working. There is Newton, 111.1 for him. 0.3 of a second separate Body Val and Newton. It is a massively, massively close field. There is Aero there. I mean, look at the difference. Less than a second separates the entire field in terms of pace. If you wanted to come for close GT racing, this is absolutely the place to be. Nothing separating them. Any one of these 11 drivers can win out this race today, but remember, it's not necessarily about just taking the win. It's about overall race pace. And I tell you what, I think looking at their pace at the moment, certainly in qualifying, I would not be surprised if every single one of these drivers is sitting in the pro class come the end of qualifying this week. Stormfly with a 111.2. Where's that put him? That puts him now up in 7th. So he's struggling to get on the front row in that 911. He's put in a couple of blistering times. That's his best so far. So pretty much last lap for everybody out. I don't think anyone's going to get another crack. Just looking at who's there. That's Mazda. Might get across the line to get another crack at it. Does he? Or is this his last lap? Just looking now, and he gets one more go for Mazda. One more opportunity. Body Val, this is the final lap for Body Val. Can Body Val improve on that 110.7? The only driver sub 111 as it stands, or are they? No, they're not, because Tech Racing, off into the pits goes Tech Racing, has gone sub 111 with a 110.9. So the front row, Body Val and Tech Racing, both sub 111. If you want to get on the front row now, boys and girls, you need to be doing it on this lap. 111.0 for Mazda, puts Mazda alongside GMAC on row 2. GMAC is done. Couldn't improve on his first hot lap, but sometimes that's all you need. Newton for Nola Racing, just 1/100th of a second behind GMAC. Comes across the line. Is this an improved lap? It's not. That's a 111.3. Wiggy with a 111.2 dead in the BMW M6. That is the best M6 driver out there today. Just ahead of Stormfly in the 911. Slipstream in the AMG GT3 can't do better than 11.3. The Truth with 11.4 in the... He's in the GTR, isn't he? The Truth? No, he's not. I lied. He's in the McLaren. TJ in the M6 with a 111.3. Looks like his best lap. And Aero 111.8. 111.7. So close. 9/10 of a second separate the 11 drivers across this field. Absolutely phenomenal performances from these guys. Just goes to show it's going to be such close racing. I can tell you, during one of the practice races, Bonnie Val was absolutely dominating until the last lap, and one little mistake, one little touch of wheels on the sand, and lost the lead on the very, very last lap. So it just goes to show how close, just how close it can be with these big boys racing. We are looking at 11 very, very good drivers. Now, we don't know what the drivers in the other lobbies are doing. We will find out, of course. Yeah, we have no idea what the other drivers are going to look like over the course of this qualifying. Of course, we will rebroadcast the other two lobbies after. I don't know if I'm going to do it this evening. It might be tomorrow morning before I put those videos up. It depends how I feel after this race, but we're certainly going to have all three up there for you. I am working on finding a couple of other broadcasters so we can broadcast everything live at the same time. It's an insanely fast lobby. You say, what a fast lobby, geez, but you're not at the back of the grid, mate. I know you're ish at the back of the grid, but yeah, less than a second. 9/10 of a second separate 11 drivers. I'm quite good at picking people to put in a lobby. So that's the full official rundown right there. Let's screenshot that. I want to make sure we've got that saved for prosperity. But the two sub-11 drivers, Bonnie Val and Tech Racing. Bonnie Val from Amigos and from Beyond Victory Lane. Tech Racing are on pole. Mazda and GMAC on the second row. 111.0, 111.1. We've got Newton for Nola Racing and Black Flag Star Group on row 3. Two more Black Flag drivers in Stormflyer and Slipstream on row 4. Row 5 is The Truth with TJ and Aero. We say bringing up the rear. He's 9/10 of a second slower than the pole sitter. It could have been quite easily been one little mistake and he could have been on pole. Qualifying is done. Let's put the ready signal up and let's get these guys cracking and racing, shall we? Because there's no reason why we shouldn't be straight at it. So excited, I forgot to bring up the lobby screen like that, but there we go. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Let's just get cracking with some racing, shall we? Right, everyone's ready to go. Without further ado, half an hour, 30 minutes around this track. They've got half a tank of fuel. They've got the racing soft tyres. There might be pit stops. It might be a case of thinking about your strategy a little bit, whether you keep it out there or whether you absolutely go for it. What we're going to do is we're going to keep an eye on the middle of the field, and we're going to stick it in chase cam, I think, because that's generally how you see if anything goes horribly wrong into turn 1. These guys know what they're doing. I can't imagine there's going to be any red flag business. Here we go. We are away, and the GT3 World Championship GT Alphas has begun. Down to turn 1 we go. Into the brakes. Everyone very cautious through turn 1. They do not want to be wrecking their car. They do not want to be wrecking their opportunity. And that Slipstream just sliding up into 6th place past Wiggy on turn 2. Good start from everybody. Everyone away very clean. Doesn't look like anyone's lagging too far behind. Look at that. That's a great shot. Every car. And you can see the quality of the drivers here. Anyone that's raced in daily races on GT7 will know that cars racing this close, at least 5 of them will have got smashed into a wall by now. So this is credit to the quality of the drivers in this competition. Looking through the order, there is Stormfly running in 8th position. Let's get it back out to this awesome view. So Bonnie Val leading out the way from pole position has got Mazda clearly right up behind. Mazda has got very clear ideas what he wants to do in that BMW. Has no intention of letting him pull away, as we see GMAC up into 3rd with Knudsen sticking just behind. That's 2 GTRs chasing down that BMW. Mazda having a look around the outside, thinking better of it. You do not want to be getting too far wide there. But Bonnie Val holding that AMG GTR, which for me is one of the most beautiful GT3 cars. Certainly in real life, and in the game as well, but certainly in real life. Absolutely beautiful looking car. So Body Val leading the way. Half a second is the lead, but not able to pull away at this stage. Mazda sticking with them, and all the cars, look, there's nothing separating them at the moment. Newton running in 4th place. Behind him is Tech Racing, also in a GTR. So the GTRs all running very, very close together. That is going to be purely down to driver ability. Absolutely fantastic. I thought it's going to be about clean. Who can keep it clean? Who can manage the tyres? Who can manage their fuel over this 30-minute race? That's going to be absolute key to where these guys finish at the end of this race. And bear in mind that it is going to be about overall race pace. You're going to want to pace yourself. You want to make any silly mistakes at this stage. And saying that, as we see some dust kicking up, who was that disappearing? That looked to me like Slipstream got very, very loose out of the final corner. And you can see here, that was Wiggy going up the inside. Slipstream not quite enough. Breakage goes a little bit wide there on the exit. Does manage to keep it rescued, cutting across that there. Very lucky, actually, not to have got a track limits penalty and reset back onto the track, as happens so often when you find yourself there. He drops him down into 10th place. He is stuck now behind TJ, and he's got aero crawling all over the back of him. And that's G-Mac making a move on Mazda. Can we see him get that move done? Gets that bit of slipstream as they head up the hill, and under braking, does he make the move? We can see here where he makes the move. It's absolutely brilliant little move. Just up the inside into that little right-hander that takes you down to the last braking zone before you get on the power. So good little move there from G-Mac, getting himself up into 2nd. But he hasn't been able to hold it, and he's lost a number of positions, dropping him down to 5th place. And that's now, was there a coming together between him and Mazda? Because where's Mazda? Can we find out what happened there? Was there some sort, well, you can see him there returning to the track. So he is clearly, there's no damage to his car. So that looks to me like that was some driver error. Just goes to show how easy it is to lose the car. And that's put him 6.2 seconds adrift. Just that little error there. And with a lobby this fast, it's going to be incredibly difficult to catch back up to the pack. So it's going to be now about managing that race pace and trying to find a way to close that deficit, to lose that 6-second deficit. Osman, you're absolutely right. Looking at just at this lobby, and bear in mind, we've got 2 other lobbies that could be doing just this as well. There are 2 other lobbies right now running that could be racing this closely. It's going to be a phenomenal season. I know you remember the last little practice race where you were well, I think 4 or 5 seconds behind Body Val when Body Val lost it on the last lap, and you managed to snatch victory from the jaws of defeat. But at the moment, Body Val putting in blistering times. Have they gone too early? That's a 1:11.1. Newton with the fastest lap of the race, actually, 1:10.9, which, let's put that into perspective. Only 2 drivers, Body Val and Tech Racing, went sub 1:11 in qualifying. Newton's just done that under race conditions. Body Val now 3 seconds clear. That is because G-Mac and Mazda, who were chasing Body Val down, have just dropped off the pace a little bit. Tech Racing still sticking in that top 3. 1:11.3 fastest lap for Tech Racing from the other side of the world. We will be doing a feature in the next race. What we're going to do, actually, each week we're going to feature a different racing team. We've got enough teams to be able to feature a team a week. We'll leave Black Flag to the end because we're the best. Of course, but we'll do a little feature about the racing team and about the drivers racing for that team and that kind of thing, to introduce you a little bit more to the people getting involved in this wonderful World Championship. And we're supporting some a really or promoting, should I say, a very worthy cause in the Proper Blokes Club. Do check them out. I know they're only UK based and this is world based, but check them out because they're going to take over the world and revolutionise men's mental health, in my opinion. The guy that runs it, Scott, I've known him for many years, and he's an amazing guy, done some amazing things. Anyway, moving swiftly on, let's stop being soppy and let's talk about some racing. Tech Racing holding on in 3rd, just trying to break that 1 second gap where the car behind can pick up some decent slipstream, because there's a very, very long run when you're flat out, when a car in your slipstream can really benefit from a bit of fuel saving and a few extra horsepower, or at least it feels like a few extra horsepower when they're tucked in behind. GMAC running there in 4th. There is Wiggy in 5th. Stormfly in 6th position, currently running in that Porsche 911. The Truth. Can you handle the Truth? Well, a few can, but at the moment TJ can't handle the Truth, and he is 0.6 of a second behind him. 1.7 seconds, of course, the Truth behind Stormfly. There is TJ in that BMW. He's got Slipstream in his Slipstream, and that's not where you want to see him. Now remember, he made a mistake early doors. He's already working his way up through the order. Aero desperately from sector 7, desperately trying to hold on. And you can see Mazda's already eaten 3 seconds into that deficit after the mistake on lap 3. Really starting to close up, showing his incredible pace. And at the moment, 15 seconds separates the 11 drivers, 7 minutes in. Now, I'm going to test something to see if it actually works or if it's also cocked up. No, it's not working. We will have, when I've fixed it, in that little box, we'll have lots of tyre and fuel data for you. But for some reason, since this morning, it's decided to stop working. So I'm going to have to... this is why we do these things. We fix the technical errors. I genuinely spent half an hour flicking through all the buttons and and for some reason, they've decided they're just not going to work this evening. But yeah, it is what it is. We have these technical issues befall us at times. There is your race leader from Amigos Racing Team, just completing lap 8 here. Now, 30-minute race. It's going to be shy of 30 laps because we're just over a minute a lap. So it's going to be somewhere near 27, 28 laps, I think, or is it less than that? I can't actually remember. We actually did a couple of full race sims earlier, but I didn't actually pay attention to how many laps it was. But so we'll see. But Bonnie Val at the moment, very, very consistent. Look at those lap times steadily in the low 111s. This is actually quite key. Is what you find. Look, Newton's clearly very fast, put in the fastest lap of the race with a 110. But more often than not, you find it's the driver that puts in the incredibly consistent laps that are within a couple of tenths each lap. And Bonnie Val is doing that right now, putting in those consistent laps. And they're the driver. If they can keep it on the racetrack, they can keep that kind of momentum, that consistency going, that they're the driver you see at the end of the race standing on the top step of the podium. The only danger is, and one thing I will say about Big Willow, it's one of those racetracks where when you haven't got cars around you, it can get a little bit, you can get complacent, because it's quite a rhythm track. There's not a lot of corners. There's only 9 corners. It's very much like the Red Bull Ring, and there's not a lot of corners to think about. But every single corner is incredibly complex and gives you a different set of challenges, and it puts different strains on different parts of the car. What I can tell you is the front rights here take an absolute battering. Sorry, the front left take an absolute battering, because with the amount of right-hand turns you've got, and we're not talking about your slow speed right-hand corners. We're talking about your pedal to the floor, flat out right-hand corners, putting so much strain on those front tyres. Now that does mean you've got to think about your tyre strategy. Do you back off a little bit? Do you think, okay, well look, at this stage, Bonnie Val now at 6 seconds clear, thinking, do I back off and do I save my tyres a little bit? Because every second you spend in the pits is... it's a 5 litres per second refill rate. So, to be fair, they might be all right on fuel. If you make it 15 minutes in with a quarter of a tank of fuel, then you're going to make it to the end. But with the tyres, you need to kind of think about, the pit in, pit out time. It's not huge here at Big Willow. It's quite a short pit entrance and a very short pit exit. But you've got to bear in mind, you're going to be slow in the pits. You're going to be stationary while they put tyres on. And the cars around you, well, they're not going to slow down just because you're fixing your car. Very similar situation for Tech Racing. And it's a shame that functionality is not working. I'll get it fixed before I do the replay, so we'll see it on the replays for Lobby 2 and Lobby 3. But Tech Racing, very similar scenario with that front left, starting to show a little bit of anger. I can tell you that it's if any of these drivers make it to the end of this race without having to change their tyres, they are a god and should be revered, because it's so punishing, this track, on the tyres. There's Newton running in third for Nola Racing, and beautiful red, white and blue livery for that Danish driver. And he's one of 2 Danish drivers we've got running in this GT3 World Championship. Currently still holds that fastest lap, but has dropped out into the 112s, not showing the same level of consistency as Bonnie Val out in the lead, and getting very Tech Racing are getting very, very friendly with the brown stuff, with the sand. But look how close these cars are. Just look at the distance between. If we look from Stormfly there, that the battle ahead is the battle for second. There's 4 cars really involved there. We can take a quick look back behind Stormfly, and not far back, that's the Truth Serum running, the Canadian driver running just 1.2 seconds behind Stormfly. And in the distance there, that Slipstream is starting to work his way back through the field. I've lost the ability to speak. Yeah, and I'm absolutely stoked for this season. It's looking so awesome. So Stormfly in that 911. He's going to be he'll be quite happy to sit there for the time being. Just look after those tyres for a little bit. Make sure the fuel is within that kind of range, and you can see putting a similar level of consistency to Bonnie Val, but a few tenths slower a lap, which is going to make a difference. And we see there, that's an interesting strategy. Tech Racing and Newton both diving into the pits very early on. Before that halfway point, they clearly feel there was a little bit more on the tyres for them to go, but they feel that the undercut here is strong. We'll see how that works out. That promotes Stormfly up into the top 3, and we haven't said much about him thus far, but the Welsh driver, Bonnie Val, now 8 seconds clear. 8 seconds clear. Is Bonnie Val really going to be that much quicker than everybody across the course of this season? Or is this track a one-off? We'll see. But there's our Welsh wizard, Wiggy the Welsh wizard in the BMW. He is currently running in second. Tyres looking very similar to that Stormfly. Fueled as well, not having so much of a problem. I tell you who to watch out for, though, is this guy right here, The Truth. It's a shame I can't show. Well, I can actually. I could do this, I suppose. Look at... Oh, wrong button. Apologise. Yeah, I can't show you it because it brings up another thing when I press the button. So some stuff's working as it's supposed to. Some stuff isn't. There's another car diving in. That's Wiggy diving in from second. The Truth is doing a fabulous job looking after his tyres. Much better than pretty much everybody else. TJ's going to stay out, but I think you'll see him pop in at the end of this lap. Mazda, he's probably got a few more laps in him in that BMW. Looking pretty good for him at the moment, for the Kiwi. Aero, the only US driver in this particular lobby for Sector 7. His tyres looking... They're not quite as good as The Truth's. The Truth is doing a very good job of looking after his tyres, to be fair. So there's Tech Racing. He is back out from second, all over the back of Aero, trying to find a way through. He had a little look up the inside there. Door was open, but didn't choose to go through. It's a difficult place to make an overtake there, because you can't see your exit. Diving up the inside there, you have to have absolute balls of steel. And because it can be so damaging to your grid position in the opening race next season, sometimes it's worth just waiting, just biding your time. And these drivers, they know what to do. They know how to play the game. Having another little look up the inside here. Aero not covering that inside line, but because you've got to go so wide on your exit, and there is Aero into the pits. Lovely slipstream there from Stargroup. Is he going to get the run down to turn 1? Just tucked in there behind that GTR. Hasn't got the straight line speed of the GTR, but cornering, they're pretty much matched. Car for car at the moment, so close between these two. But look back here, there's GMAC in the Hello Kitty car. There, that's Knudsen. He's running in the Nola car. Slipstream, he's not far back from that battle. Another 5-car battle for position at the moment. And this is currently the battle for 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th and 9th. Really raging on. Bear in mind though, we've still got Bolival still to pit. Currently 9 seconds clear, but he's going to be popping in the pits now. In Bolival comes as we expected. Stormfly running in second. Is Stormfly going to stay out? There's still some life in those narrow tyres, but he takes that 911 straight into the pits here at Big Willow. The Truth though, do you know what? I'm going to call this now. The Truth can run this race without a tyre change. Absolutely looking after those tyres so well, while still running in those low to mid 111s. And talking of consistency, let's just look at that grouping. I want to drop back out there. Lap 13, 12, 11, 10. 111.8. And literally there are hundredths of a seconds of difference between those lap times. That is a phenomenal level of consistency. Now we talked earlier about how Bolival was putting in very, very consistent low 111s, but nowhere near the close grouping of that. You know, we're talking hundredths of a second of difference between one lap and another, time after time, and that takes an amazing level of concentration, and particularly if you consider that Truth is really looking after those tyres. Do not count out this Canadian driver from a potential win here, and this potential win could lead to a potential pole when we go next week to Interlagos. Bolival out of the pits is there in second, is chasing down the Truth now. Bolival has been in the pit, so we do have that to consider. My cat is starting to make a little sneaky move towards the door where my missus has just gone out to put the rubbish out. But the door's not quite open enough, so hopefully it doesn't make a dart for it. Otherwise, you will hear me disappear very quickly. No, he's changed his mind and come back in, but he was seriously considering going outside for a very brief moment. Right. Back to the action. Not the action of the cat escaping, but the action on the track. Mazda running there in third, quite comfortably at the moment. Not really closing up on the back of the Truth and Bolival out in first and second, but got a nice healthy gap from Tech Racing there in fourth. Mazda will still need to take that BMW into the pits, get some new tyres, and particularly as the front left is starting to look a little bit angry. Now, those that pit early, those that chose to go in before that halfway point, has that undercut made any difference? Well, we're looking at Tech Racing there. We know that when Mazda does go in, we're assuming Mazda's going to go in. We're assuming Mazda is not going to try and hold this car out there, because that could be a very, very different scenario if they do. Again, very consistent driving from the Kiwi driver. But at the moment, 4 nationalities in the top 4. Bolival from the United Kingdom leads, is now around the Truth Serum. The Truth from Canada in that McLaren 650S, not letting Bolival disappear though. Mazda, the Kiwi, for Sector 7 Racing, running in third, and Tech Racing from Beyond Victory Lane from Australia, running in fourth. I mean, technically, Wiggy's Welsh, so that's another nationality in fifth. We've got a Dutchman running in sixth, and then we've got GMAC. Less said about him, the better. Mr. Pitt himself. He loves the Hello Kitty. Running in sixth place. There is quite a good battle going on here. So at the head of this battle, there is Stormfly in that 911. Behind him, GMAC running in seventh. And then we've got Newton eighth. We've got Slipstream in ninth. Just not too far away from that battle. And here we can see from the chase cam, we see Newton making a mistake, and that's cost him because Slipstream glides past him like he isn't even there. Just goes to show how easy it is. As soon as you touch this sand on this racetrack, it really can make a massive difference. You see there, just as Slipstream comes round the rabbit here, he catches the sand and it just unsettles the back of the AMG. He does hold it together, but it's so easy to get it wrong here. Lap 18. We're into the final 10 minutes of this GT3 World Championship qualifier. And at the moment, Bolival dominating out in front, 1.6 seconds clear for the Amigos Racing team. The Truth for Sector 7 in second place, looking like he's going to take this to the end. And I tell you what, with this level of tyre and fuel saving, while still showing this kind of pace, right here, right in front of you, you are looking at a potential championship winner. This is a phenomenal performance from the Sector 7 driver from Canada. Mazda, his teammate from Sector 7, the Kiwi, running in that BMW, holding on in third, but that gap to Tech Racing really closing down. And there's a question mark now whether Mazda can hold on for this last 8 minutes. His tyres are looking dangerously dangerous. Very real chance of seeing him flying off into the distance. Tech Racing just biding his time. Tech Racing doesn't know, well, he might know, if he's listening he will, he doesn't know what Mazda's doing unless he's been smart and he's got the broadcast on and he's giving it a little listen. But up ahead of him, 1.2 seconds, that's his target. That's what he's thinking about. He's thinking about a podium here. Now look, every single one of these drivers, they're sensible enough to know that it's about consistency, that it's about putting in those solid lap times, keeping it churning, making sure that they're nice and consistent and that it puts them close to the front of the grid. They want to be in lobby number one. Lobby number one's where the big points are. Essentially, this is how the lobbies work. Every lobby has the same scoring system, but you get bonus points based on the lobby you're in. So if you're in lobby 1, you get a bonus 50 points for being there. Every driver. Lobby 2, a bonus 25. No bonus if you're in lobby 3. So the ideal is that each week you want to be putting in performance that moves you between the lobbies, that moves you up through the order. Not so much so that you're racing way out of your depth, but enough that you're racing with people of your pace, but also you're being rewarded for that jump in lobby, for that extra challenge in terms of ability. But I think at the moment, considering the pace, we're looking at at least 11 of our pro drivers. Now, if we consider that we've got 2 drivers of this pace, Kaizan had to pull out with the flu, and Osman, who is certainly a front runner here as well, that will be putting in this kind of pace. It's going to be a very difficult championship to call at this stage. A lot of you will look and say, oh, look, Bonnie Val clearly dominating here, but that doesn't mean a thing. This is a qualifying race. These guys have been practicing for this race for weeks. They're only going to get a week between each race to practice before we run the 12 weeks up till Christmas. And I've got to try and convince my missus that we're not putting a Christmas tree up until this series is finished. I have a feeling that this house will be full of Christmas trees long before the end of this 12-week championship. Back to your race leader, Bonnie Val, opening up that gap again, 4 seconds. Somebody's been practicing. Out in the lead is Bonnie Val. The Truth, though, the tyre wizard himself. You can't handle the tyres, but the Truth can handle the tyres. Mazda running in third. Now we see Wiggy catching up there. Tech Racing getting involved there. Stormfly not too far behind in that 911. Can Stormfly? Now Stormfly was an early favourite for this championship, as was Slipstream and GMAC. And to be fair, Wiggy, they're all butting out. And BVL Tech Racing beyond Victory Lane gets that a little bit wrong there. We can see just what went wrong. He's on the power. You can see here he's behind Wiggy. Does get on the power, but just gets it a little bit wrong and straight onto the sand, and you have no choice but to back off. You put your foot to the floor, you try and ride that out, and the back is going to come round to meet the front. That's cost him a few places there, so he's vying for top 3, now down to 9th place. It's that easy to lose a position or two here at Big Willow. I'll tell you what, it's one racetrack I would absolutely love to blast the car around. But look at this current battle ahead. This is what we're looking at. At the head of this battle is Slipstream. Ahead of him, Stormfly and Mazda. They're disappearing off into the distance. There's GMAC. Hello, kitty. Running in 6th. There is Wiggy, the Welsh wizard, running in 7th. Newton for Nola Racing. He doesn't want these black flag boys to be keeping him behind him. He is vying for a way through there. The Danish driver running in 8th. Tech Racing getting back involved. Made that little mistake on the last lap, but not out of it by any stretch of the imagination. Not too far back, there's the BMW of TJ in 10th place. So close from the midfield right through to the back. Nothing separating these guys. Every single driver, every single driver has put in at some stage a 1:11 mid-lap. Every single driver. Some have put in faster, some have put in slower, but every driver is capable of putting in that mid 1:11 round here, which just demonstrates how close they are in terms of ability. Now, we're going to see over the course of the season very different racetracks. We're going to see very different cars dominating in different places, in different areas. Next week, we're at Interlagos. The cars with the straight line speed, the cars that can do well coming out of Junção, while still maintaining that pace through that really tricky section through the middle, that are quick through those centre S's. Those cars are going to be the ones that are going to dominate next week. But it's always going to be very, very different. But I can tell you what, it's going to be darn close. There is Aero. Aero's struggling a little bit to keep up with the pack here. Has been putting in similar times, but he's been able to put in those 1:11 threes, but not been able to find the consistency of those guys ahead. It might mean that Aero, well, we won't know until we see what the other lobbies are doing. We don't know where people are going to slot in for the race next week. And the lobbies will be announced on Wednesday. So lobbies and classes and grid positions will be announced officially on Wednesday. That gives us time to look at any potential stewarding issues. Certainly none from this race that I have been able to see. And there may be from lobby 2 and 3. Who knows? So that gives us time to look at any stewarding issues, to give the guys that weren't able to qualify today for whatever reason an opportunity to give us their to at least tell us what class they're in. They're going to do that with a specially designed time trial. Well, specially designed. It was designed specially by Gran Turismo, and we're just going to look at it. So 3.9 seconds a gap from Bonneville to the truth. We're on lap 24. Just a minute and a half left. So a couple of laps left of this race. Pretty much everyone on the lead lap. This just goes to show how close they are. Yeah, you can argue it's only a short lap. Of course, we're on the lead lap. But, we're talking a 30-minute race. Over the course of a 30-minute race, and every single driver is still running on that same lap. Whether one makes a lap further than the other, we'll see towards the end. But I have a feeling pretty much everyone's going to finish on this lead lap. Bonneville from the Truth Serum. The Truth Serum holding those tyres out so well. And if there was an award for being very, very smart with the tyres, it would be going to the Truth. But there isn't one, so he's not going to get one. 7 seconds back to Stormfly. Don't know if there's going to be enough time for him to get that 911 and put any sort of challenge on those top two, unless, of course, there is still a mistake in them. And there's always that potential. Not to jinx it. There's no such thing as commentator's curse. It's just commentator's foresight. Just have the foresight to look in the right place at the right time. Mazda. Mazda is holding on. Those tyres are shot. Absolutely shot to bits. I'm going to screenshot it, and I'm going to show the world just how disgusting those tyres look right now. Mazda couldn't hold off the charge of the AMG of Slipstream. And next up, Tech Racing is going to be trying to exploit Mazda's lack of grip over this last lap. And there we go. Timer ticks down to nothing. This is the final lap of the race. And Bonneville takes the win here. Lap 26, 4.9 seconds over the Truth. Takes second place very comfortably without stopping. Stormfly up into third. That's a good finish from him. Slipstream home in fourth. Mazda just holds on for fifth. Tech Racing 4th, 6th position. GMAC just behind in 7th. TJ takes 8th place. Wiggy home in 9th. Newton home in 10th. And Aero home in 11th position. Now, it's not often that I have a race where I'm having to really quickly scroll through everyone as they cross the line. What a phenomenal finish that was. Congratulations. The opening win of the season goes to Bonneville here in qualifying. Great start for the Amigos Racing Team driver. Well, how about that? Let's do the full rundown, shall we? Let's get rid of this. we can see the full rundown. Body valve in the Mercedes-Benz AMG GT3 with a fastest lap there of a 110.7. That'll be an additional point if you can chuck one of those in during the race. Will that be pole position? Has anyone gone faster anywhere else that could potentially be pole next week at Interlagos? Brilliant start there. The Truth comes home in second. Stormfly home in third. Slipstream is home in fourth. That's 2 AMGs in the top 4. Top M6 from Mazda. Did also king of the no stoppers there. The Truth showing you how it's done. Mazda not quite getting to hold on to the tyres to the end, but good solid finish for the Kiwi. Tech Racing home in 6th. GMAC in the other GTR home in 7th. TJ rounds out that top 8. 9th is Wiggy in the M6. 10th in the GTR is Newton the Dane. And the American driver, fuck yeah, in that RCF, home in 11th position. What a phenomenal finish to that particular race. That was all phenomenal. It was phenomenal all the way through. Qualifying was awesome. Everything was so darn close. The race was solid. You can't ask for better than that, really, can you? I am going to go and have a little looky, see if I can get some driver interviews sorted out for the top 3. That'll be Body Val, The Truth, and Stormfly. Give me 2 glorious minutes while I try and do that for you. And he spots a massive technical issue as he jumps in there to do that. There will be no driver interview. I apologise. There'll be no driver interview for this particular qualifying. We will have them for next week. For some very odd reason. I don't know why that's bringing that up again. It should be... there we go. Hang on. There we go. No, wrong one. That's the one we want. Yeah, there will be no podium interviews this week. Purely because I forgot to set something up. And there we go. It's what happens when you're wearing many hats. Now, what a phenomenal race that was. And I'll tell you what, if that is indicative of the season ahead, this is going to be one of the best world championships that I, as a broadcaster, have been involved in. Absolutely phenomenal start to the season. Next week, we are over to Brazil for Interlagos when we start with round 1 proper. All the groups and the classes and the grid positions will be available on Wednesday. So we'll find out where everybody is. We'll go. If we have no stewarding issues and we have nothing to look at, it may be sooner, but they will be up and confirmed by Wednesday. All that's left for me to say is thank you to everyone for getting on board with this GT Alpha's GT3 World Championship. Thank you to everyone at Black Flag that's helping behind the scenes. But thank you most of all to the drivers who are making it a phenomenal start to the season. Nothing left really for me to say other than I've been Urban Pirate. This has been Black Flag Racing TV, and it's been emotional.